Welcome to Chapel Sports Museum and Restaurant, 323 Armour Road, North Kansas City. I'm Matt Folks. Dave O'Hare over on the far side, and Bobby Bell, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Chiefs Hall of Famer, all-around great guy, great storyteller, here with us during the radio portion of our show tonight, and you can catch the podcast, on BehindTheStatsRadio.com. But Bobby, a couple things that Dave and I want to touch on here tonight. One player who's on a lot of people's hearts and minds right now, Cheryl Hedrick, Psycho as they called him. Great player, great teammate from everybody I've talked to. But just uh, what are your thoughts on Cheryl, who passed away from cancer on Wednesday?
Well, the thing is, when I came into the league here, Cheryl was a middle linebacker. And Cheryl was, like I said, before, he's a smart player, tough. I mean, couldn't feel no pain. Here's a guy that, played with broken fingers and all that stuff. And I told the story about he coming out of the hospital and going up to Denver, and they said he wasn't going to make him play. And he said, I'm playing, put his uniform on, came out and played the second half. And I said, this guy gotta be, what is wrong with him, man? It's gotta be. I mean, he's had some problem with his hemorrhoids and stuff, And here this guy's playing in the game. I mean, this is the type of guy he is, He's tough and very intelligent, very smart, Cheryl was a bridge player, and he's out on the field. He just, if he didn't throw up before the game, everybody's waiting.
Well,
if you're in the locker room, everybody's waiting on Cheryl.
and that was one thing he pointed out, that he said before every game I threw up.
He threw up. I mean, everybody said, "Well, man, let's wait. The next thing you go, everything is over. Everybody said, let's go play." That was true though. He threw up before every game.
Well, to find out more about Cheryl Hedrick story that Bobby told earlier during the show, go to our podcast, www.BehindTheStatsRadio.com. And also, if you want to find out next week's guest is Joe Posnanski, writer for the Kansas City Star, an author, award-winning author. And also go to our website, and it tells you who our guest is going to be each week. And also the Kansas City Star, page 2 of every Monday's Kansas City Star sports section. Brad Doolittle's Week Ahead column has our guest. Bobby, we talked at pretty great length with you during the show, and you gave us your thoughts and words on the great Lamar Hunt. We just brushstroked a little bit on Hank Stram. What was it like playing for the great matriculator? Matriculate that ball up and down the field, Hank Stram.
Well, the coach was a great coach, and everybody said it was before his time. I mean, they said everything that we did was obsolete. But look at the offense now. They call it the West Coast. We call it spread. Triple stack, we call it triple stack now. And that's what they run, 3 linemen and 4 linebackers. That's how I end up playing linebacker, because coach said, hey, I want to play you where I want to put you in a position to, make the big plays. And I said, hey, coach, I don't care where, that's the kind of guy he was. He's a team guy, and he takes all his players, and that's how he treat them. I mean, here's a guy, and people don't realize that the coach, man, he will call you up. You're okay, even after the game. I mean, this is the kind of guy, during the Super Bowl, just finally got to him about being going in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He should have been there a long time ago. And the thing is, they're kind of blackball him, because of the Super Bowl. And the first time they taped somebody, and they taped him, they thought somebody wrote the script because everything he called worked. And that's what upset a lot of the other people in the National Football League. So they kept him out as long as they could. So, he did get to use it for 1 year or something for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Now, you talk about, and Matt's going to get more into it in reference to some of your teammates, but it is Raider Week. Arrowhead Stadium this Sunday. The Raiders are in town, the Oakland Raiders, Al Davis and crew. It may not have the cachet as in years past with guys like you, Buck Buchanan, Len Dawson, Willie Lanier, and all the other Hall of Famers, and Ben Davidson, Daryle Lamonica, the Mad Bomber. It doesn't have all those personalities and names, but what pops to your mind when we mention Raider Week, especially at Arrowhead or in Kansas City?
Well, this is like black and silver weekend, this week coming up. I think the Raiders was looking forward to this week before they played Denver, because they didn't play good there. But I tell you one thing, they're coming in here. They're going to be ready. Everybody said, well, they don't have the personnel, but for some reason, when you holler Raider and the Chiefs, it's a Super Bowl. And I tell you, and it's a dogfight. When they blow the whistle, it's going to be a dogfight. It's always something going. I remember when Al used to tell the guys, go down the bench and get one of the worst guys out there. And he know he ain't gonna play. Put him on the field. Tell him, say, now you got to start fighting. He go out and he gets thrown out of the game. Get us excited. I mean, they used to get guys thrown out of the game just to, excite somebody, get something fired up, anything, do anything. Guy will bite you. Guy be biting on you. That's why I started putting these face masks on. Guys can't get his mouth through to bite on me.
One quick question I wanted to slide in besides Raider Week. You played in still it's called the greatest game ever played. Christmas Day, Dolphins before Municipal closed to go to Arrowhead. Thoughts on that day? Your memories, quick shot memories of that day.
Well, I tell you what, that was the longest game I ever played in. I tell you, coming out of that game, I thought I played in 3 games. In fact, when I went to the shower, I couldn't even take my uniform off. I just got in the shower with the water on me, and just sat there, because it was just one of the longest games. And everybody was sitting at home waiting on the turkey and all that stuff. They burn up the turkey, when it's gonna be another hour. Okay, 2 hours went by. It was pitch dark, when we got through the game. It was a tough game. We thought we could beat them, and they felt they could. We went back and forth, and they made the last field goal, and it was all over with.
There have been so many great players, as Dave alluded to, in this organization. So many great players between the first AFL, NFL championship and Super Bowl IV when you guys beat the Vikings 23-7. But you were the first Chiefs player to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. As you think about that, not just going into the Hall of Fame, but being the first Chiefs player to do so, what does that mean to you?
That means a whole lot, It's that, you play for a team, you gave it everything you had, and to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that's the top of the pyramid, And you have to understand where I'm coming from is 6-man football. And, I didn't think I could even play in the big universities, And here I end up in the Minnesota. Then I end up playing professional ball. And also, like you said, first in a lot of things, and then being the first Chief to go into the Hall, that was the top of the pyramid for me, is to be the first, And it's just something that my family and people can go back and say once I'm left this place, and say, hey, Bobby Bell. And it's just, I played the game because I loved the game, and I was a good football player, yeah, but I like people to remember me as a person, that a person that loved the game and a human being, that I gave it everything I had, and if it was anything else, I would do the same thing. But that's one thing that was real outstanding for me, that Lamar Hunt gave me the opportunity, and I tell people that all the time, that, this guy was unbelievable. God rest his soul, he was like a heck of a guy and personable, and if you didn't know him, you should have got to know him, because he was a great guy.
And if you want to hear more Lamar Hunt stories, if you want to hear, you just caught a glimpse of this 6-man football and you're trying to think, what in the world is that?
North Carolina's finest.
Go to our website, www.behindthestatsradio.com. Listen to a podcast beginning probably Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and you can hear some just incredible stories from one Bobby Bell. And Bobby, you probably didn't notice this, but behind us here, and you can look at it after we're done, Rocky's trunks. We talked in our 7-question segment. It was, that's all we're going to say. He mentioned Rocky, and appropriately enough, Rocky's trunks, signed by Sylvester Stallone, are behind us here at Chappell's Sports Museum and Restaurant, 323 Armour Road here in North Kansas City. We're here every week. At least Dave and I are. Bobby isn't.
I can come back,
So
when you want me back?
We will hold you to this.
We're going to hold you to this.
We will hold to that. Next week, on the 18th of September, 18th of September, as Dave mentioned, Joe Posnanski, the great writer, columnist with the Kansas City Star, will be with us here at Chappell's from 6 to 7. We hope you can join us then. For Dave O'Hare, Bobby Bell, I am Matt Folks. Until next time, thanks a lot.